Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. Going to do part number 6 of the Super Detailing a Dash, and we'll be working on the wood graining again. This is actually where we're going to put the color of the wood down. And in the last video, we did the black brown wash, and I went back in and taken a little bit of that off in some various spots. And see if we can get the camera to draw in. There we go. And you can see where it's kind of getting that antique look to it, and getting the streaking and the wood grain showing up there. So next we're going to be adding the color to that. And same process for the most part. We're going to be using a color from Vallejo, model color. And for anybody that would actually want this identical color, it's orange brown, and it's part number 7981, orange brown. And we're going to actually mix that up with some water, and we're going to be doing another wash over top of what we have now. So we'll pan the camera down here and we'll get started. Okay, so I have a little bit of water in the cup there, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of a red tone to it. And what I did was actually dip the end of the brush in some red paint and put it into my water cup that I had here. And that gives me a little bit of a red tone to go along with this orange brown. So we're going to put a couple drops of the orange brown in here. Let's go 3 drops. And these ratios that I use, it's kind of, kind of hit or miss really on what works. Sometimes you just have to experiment. But if you go, 4 drops of water, 5 drops of water, something like that, to 2 or 3 drops of paint, normally that's going to be thin enough to be transparent where you won't mess anything up. So, but definitely make sure that you keep a check on your mixing ratios. So we're actually going to go in with that same brush and that we used on the first part, and we're going to mix this orange brown in with the water and that little bit of a red tone that we had to the just the straight water. And you can tell in your cup if it's too much pigment in the mixture, and in this case here it's a little bit too much. So I'm just going to take my wide brush and dip it in the water, and I just drag the brush down the side of the little mixing cup here, and that's how I get my water over into the mixture. Let's set that back over there, and we'll just move that around a little bit. That's looking a little bit better, because like I stressed in the last video, you can always go back and put another coat on if it's a little bit too thin or a little bit too transparent. But it's real hard to go back if you've put too much color down and it's not transparent anymore. So that's looking pretty good there. We're going to try that mixture, and this is with the orange brown. And this is actually going to be more of our wood grain color. So same technique that we used when we did the black. We're just going to kind of go in and move it around all the gauges. And believe it or not, I think I might have it a little bit too thin. I may have to put another couple drops of color in that. That's what I say. If you get a little bit too thin, you can always go back and put another drop of color in, and actually make the paint less transparent. But it's always good to be too thin first. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. We can try that. And like I say, if it doesn't color in totally the first time around when you do this, that's fine. You can go back in and put another coat on it, and it just adds more depth to it, the more coats that you put on. This is not something that you have to do in one coat, so you don't need to be in a big hurry for that. And, you know, but the other thing is also on this is you have to have patience. This is not something that you're going to do in a half an hour. You know, doing the multi-washes, the multi-stage washes like this, it does take time. And just like I've stressed many times before, you know, to build a quality model, it takes time. You see a lot of guys, you know, they build a model and it'll be done in a week. It would take me a week to clean up most of the parts in a kit. So, you know, that's the difference between builders that are, you know, just building just to throw models together, and builders that want to get better and, you know, make their models more realistic and more detailed. You know, when you start doing that, it just requires more time. So this is not, you know, like I say, this is not something you're going to do overnight. But as you get to doing it a lot more and using these techniques, you will get a little bit faster at it, which does help. And because, like I say, I did that the 359 Peterbilt dash, the California hauler dash, and that dash was done on a Saturday. I think it was done on a Saturday, and throughout the day of, you know, working on other things and working on bits and pieces of that, I actually got that done in a day. It took me about 5 hours altogether to detail that out. So, you know, you can do it in a day if you have something else that you're working on, and while stuff's drying on the dash, you can go ahead and work on something else. But all we're doing now is just going in and adding this orange brown wash over top of what we had there before, over top of the black brown. And just making sure that we're keeping it transparent. And I can tell that I will be going back over this again to put a finish coat on. You know, and the other thing is, if the wash that you're putting on is very thin and very transparent, you don't have to be quite as particular about going around your detail. If you happen to get some of it inside your raised detail, no real big deal, because it's so thin that with those bold colors down there, it really does not show up. So, you know, keep that in mind also as you're doing this. This thing's starting to look pretty good right now. Like I say, we'll have to go back over this again. I'm going to hit this with the hair dryer, and then I'll hold it up and show you what it looks like right now. And then we'll probably do this one more time with a new mixture, and the next mixture will be probably just a little bit thicker than this one. And that should really get our color in where we want it. But same procedure, nothing's really changed. It's the same technique. All you're doing is just using a different color and keeping everything transparent so that your wood grain shows up. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more drops of the orange brown in the cup, and I'm going to go back through and actually darken this up a little bit so it's not quite as transparent. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And the more that you do this, like I say, it'll be you know, it'll start coming to you a little bit more natural, and you'll kind of know what to look for, and you know, when to add a little bit more color, and you know, when to thin the colors out. And, you know, it's just one of those things that takes a little bit of time and patience and practice. But once you get the hang of it, you know, it's a very rewarding process. And, you know, it may not be for everyone. A lot of people like to, you know, get models done quicker than, you know, other people, and they don't want to go through all this. And, you know, that's fine. If you want to use a decal on it, that's great. There's nothing really wrong with a decal. I've used them on several of my truck builds on the dashes, and, you know, it works. And they went on to be show winners. So, you know, but if you want to do something a little bit different, this is a good thing to do. And it's also a good thing to practice. So I'm just moving around this new mixture here a little bit. It's got a little bit more color in it, not quite as transparent. It's really getting the color of our dash and our wood grain to show up. And the good thing about these tutorials also is, you know, there's a lot of people when I go to the shows and stuff, they ask me, you know, how did you do that? How much time did it take? And, you know, a lot of questions along those lines. And, you know, doing these tutorials and stuff really shows, you know, what we put into our builds here at Showtime Studios. And, you know, how much that we're into building the best model that we can. Definitely not the best thing out there, never will be, but, you know, we try to do whatever we can to build the best model possible. And we're always learning and you know, getting new ideas and techniques and stuff, and experimenting with them. And I go online, and, you know, especially on YouTube, I'm looking around at like some of the armor builders and the aircraft builders, and a lot of the techniques that they use are, you know, very easily adapted over to automotive. So, you know, that's another good thing to do for you guys out there that are learning how to do this stuff. You know, go check those guys out. I mean, I'm still doing it today. I learn every time I build a model. So, you know, none of us know everything. All right, so we got that down now. I'm going to go ahead and clean the brush out, and then we'll turn on the hair dryer here and dry this up enough so I can hold it up and show you what it looks like. And but overall, I think it's coming out pretty good. And same thing we did the last time. It's on the same heat setting, which is just medium. It's on a warm setting. And the fan's only halfway up. I don't run it on a real hot setting because sometimes it'll tend to warp the plastic, and you don't want to do that. Looking real good. I'm pretty happy with the color of the dash so far. It looks nice. Kind of coming along exactly the way that I want it to. Okay, and we'll hold it up here, and I'll show you what we look like at this point. And with the washes that we just put in, you can see it's starting to turn into more of a wood grain, and the details and the black wash and everything is really popping out. And we have the future on the lenses there, and like I say, we'll be going back over those again. We will need to go back over and dry brush our silver one more time, but no big deal on that. And this is going to need probably about 2 more coatings of a wash to get our wood grain the way that we want it and get the color uniform. But that's what it looks like. And anybody that's following along, hopefully yours looks the same way. And like I said in the last couple of videos, you know, do a video and show us the progress. And, you know, I'll look it over and see if I can give you any pointers or whatever. And if you're doing better than me, I'll let you know that too. So, that's what we have for now. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the series and liking the way this stuff's turning out. So stay tuned for part number, where we're at, part number 7. And we'll be adding a little bit more color to this and going on to the next step. So, like always, I thank you for watching and supporting Showtime Studios, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.